Learning more about Daniel Callihan's criminal history, Chris Welty continues our coverage.
Lee, according to records filed with the Tangier Parish Clerk of Court's office, Daniel Callihan has faced multiple charges dating back to 2006. In 2006, Callihan was arrested for a simple burglary. He pled guilty and was sentenced to probation, but that sentence was eventually revoked. In 2014, he was ordered to serve 5 years and ordered to receive drug rehab treatment. In 2008, Callihan was charged with simple assault of a family member. Later that year, he was charged with theft, and he and another family member were charged with aggravated battery. The pair in that case were accused of attacking someone with a mason jar. In 2009, Callihan was arrested again for theft, simple burglary, and unauthorized entry of an automobile. In 2010, Callihan was arrested for simple burglary yet again, but the Tangier Parish Clerk of Court says that charge was dismissed. Tangier Parish Sheriff Daniel Edwards says Callihan was well known by deputies.
Primarily for burglaries, some aggravated burglaries, some drug charges, some, I think, probation parole violations. I mean, he was certainly known to us. He was a suspect in some burglaries recently. This is obviously before the homicides that he committed, and you know, we've even questioned him about those as well. So he was someone that was on our radar that we had dealt with before.
Sheriff Edwards says Callihan's alleged accomplice, Victoria Cox, does not have an extensive history, but says she is from the area. He says Cox and Callihan were intimately involved. The Tangier Parish Clerk of Court says Victoria Cox did not have a prior criminal history in the parish, but did say she possibly faced a few traffic violations. Meg?